Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. So just a little update on the restoration of the Catalina 25 so far. I've been working on the electrical. We have a big solar panel mounted on the back here, which is amazing. So when we got the boat, most of the wiring was okay, but some of it wasn't. So what I had to do is change it out all to new marine grained wire. And then right here, this light wasn't working originally, so I had to cut the wire from the wire harness back almost all the way to the ceiling here, because that wire is embedded in the ceiling, and I was really hoping that I'd get it to work, and I ended up sanding it down, and I finally was able to get 12 volts out of it, so I was pretty happy. And then I used Anchor Marine heat shrink on them when I did the joint, so hopefully the wire won't get any more corrosion in it in the future, because there's nothing more to cut now. So, and then when we got the boat, it already had the charge controller, and there was a different fuse panel over here, so I put in a new one of them, and then I put in the battery monitor, and then I wired up the bilge pump differently. So next what I'm going to do is down here, I'm going to put two bars that I have that I'm going to run the positive and the negative to. Right now it's not wired correctly. There's only like a 14 gauge black negative wire up, and then as you can see it's a much bigger positive, but we only ever use like 4 or 5 amps at most, and that's for the fan and the bilge pump. So I've been making sure I don't go over that. And then up here for the sink, I got one bulkhead done. When we got it, it was kind of moldy and had a bunch of black spots on it. So I was able to sand it down and put some polyurethane on it. And as you can see, it's shiny now. And I was able to take the leather strip off and then re-staple it to it. So that was cool. So I'm getting the sink done. Right there's my red pirate flag. And then under here, we do have the water tank at home. So I'm still trying to get it all cleaned out. It's kind of nasty inside. I'm thinking I'm going to have to cut an access port in it to get it all scrubbed out. And then up here, when we got it, this board was not connected. It was cut in half. So I made some framing for it on the bottom so it doesn't fall apart, and put some stainless steel screws in it. And then I didn't varnish that, but I used some teak sealer, Seamco. And then up here, I put in a solar vent fan, and that has helped big time with the smell and everything. Right there I have my humidity thing, and it's only 53 right now, which isn't bad. When we first got the boat, it was up in the 90s and that when we weren't here. So I'm glad I got that. I'm going to get a piece of teak and kind of fill this in, and then I'm going to put a piece of teak up there as a kind of a thing, and then I'll router it around the edge is the plan. So I just got this bulkhead all cleaned for in front of the head there. So I'm going to get that added in. I'm going to work on the wiring some more. Down here, I added in a fuel filter and water separator, which has helped big time. And I added in new iridium spark plugs. I was able to find the service manual online for this. This is an OMC Zephyr from the 80s. It's a really cool old sail drive. So this fall, when we take the boat out of the water, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to go through the whole thing and redo it. And then we got a new battery back there. We got a, I think it's a 110 amp hour dual purpose battery, so it's a starter and a deep cycle battery. Back there I have an EverDry dehumidifier kind of thing. That white cable there, that's from the charge controller back. I'm gonna, after we get it out of the water, I'm gonna take this board out that the fuel filter is mounted to, and I'm gonna get that all painted up and get the mold off of it, and then I'll do the wiring better, because I'd like to have 2 or 3 batteries back here. And then right there, that extension cord right now, it's just an extension cord cut off on each end for the solar panel to the charge controller. I'm going to be replacing that. Get that to some Anchor marine grade wire. I think I have, trying to look around, I don't know where everything is. I'm going to use some 10 gauge is the plan. I've been looking online all about 12 volt DC wiring, and I plan on having everything wired to have no less than a 2% or no more than a 2% voltage drop. So I'm doing 8 gauge wire and 12 gauge wire, or 10 gauge wire a lot on things. So I was able to get heat shrink connectors right here, and then I have a bunch of Anchor marine ones. These were the only place that I could find that had 8 gauge wire ones. So they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to try to find, but they do have them on Amazon. I'll leave some links in the description below so you can find where all that stuff is, because it can be a pain in the butt trying to find 8 gauge, 5/16, what do we got? 3/8, and then these are for the 10 gauge screws. And then let me see if I can find it here in this other box. This is some 16 gauge wire. I gotta get a box to hold all my marine grade stuff like this. At home I have one for all my electrical stuff that's not marine grade, but I had never worked on a boat before, and then I came here and started working on it, and I learned, nope, you can't use all that stuff. I was gonna use some Wago wire nuts, like to do the connections. I can come over here and I'll pull it down and I'll kind of show you what those are. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna do that right now. I forgot I gotta disconnect that wire. Otherwise I can't pull it down. I still gotta clean out the ice thing here. Oh, I'll have to figure that out. Now I got the wire up there, but it does open when I have it all the way back. Slip it out. There we go. As you can see now, it's pretty nasty. I haven't been in there at all. They just had it drain when the ice melted down to the bottom here, and that's where the bilge pump is, which reminds me I need to turn it on right now. So what my plan is to clean that out, and I'll just kind of keep that for right now. But eventually I was looking, and they have little 12 volt refrigerators that fit the same little size, and I'm thinking I'll get one there for that, depending. And then I wouldn't run it all the time. I would just have it on when I needed it. And then up here I'm going to do wire ties to get it all up in this wiring track, so then you won't see it eventually. And that comes over here to our control panel. And the really cool thing that I was able to find online is they do, I think it's Blue Sea Systems, they make little stickers, so then even if you have stuff that doesn't say the right thing, you can pop them right on there. So cabin lights, anchor lights, running lights, these 3 I have hooked up, and then the engine fan I have hooked up, and then the fog lights there, that's the mast middle light. The anchor lights is the top one on the mast. Running lights are my back light and my 2 colored ones up in the front. Water pump I do plan on using. I'm going to hook up a 12 volt water pump so that the head sink and the galley sink will be pressurized. I saw online they have that. That should be pretty cool. And then eventually I'd like to do a little 12 volt TV there, and that would be cool, so then I can put the table down and use it kind of as a lounger and watch TV. So, and I do still have to make a cushion for up here. It's I believe it was 18 by 24, so I'm going to be getting one of them and making it. So that's the update so far on the Catalina 25 restoration. I'm excited, so I'm hoping we'll be getting all this stuff done soon, and then next spring when the sailing season starts again, we'll be good to go. In the comments below, let me know if you guys have any questions. Hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us out. I'll see you guys later.